Hi, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here as usual live to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I will go ahead and answer your immigration related questions that come in through the chat, through the comments. So go ahead, put your questions in while I'm here. Why not take advantage of hi there, Mike Harris, it's nice to see you. Why not take advantage of an immigration attorney being here to answer your immigration related questions? So I want to tell you a little more about me while your questions come in. While I talk, feel free to put your questions in the comments so that I can start answering ASAP before I close out. I am here every night. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney, and I focus on assisting clients to get their green card and status in the United States. So if you are going through the immigration process, you're thinking about the immigration process, you have been through the immigration process, I know you have a question, and I am here to answer that question. If you would like to learn more about me, about the practice areas in immigration, and what I've done, you can go to the link in my bio. It will take you to the website. So 701 Loy, is there a way to check if it is okay to travel to the US after being there just 2 months ago? So if you left the United States and you stayed, within the term, stayed within the time that you were given to stay, you didn't overstay, then you should be okay. Now you can check, I don't know if you have your I-94, if you don't have a record of your travel, the last time you traveled, or the date, the permission, the date that you were given to leave the country. But if you do have any concerns at all, schedule a consultation and let's talk about it. There is no specific way I'd have to figure out what's going on with you to determine how to go about getting information. But if you left the US just 2 years ago, you complied with all the immigration rules, you didn't violate any immigration laws, then you should be good to go. But always, the information I'm giving you here is very general. And so if you have any concerns, because I don't know what your particular circumstances are, so if you have any concerns at all, then go ahead and schedule a consultation with an immigration attorney to figure out how you can get to the root of it. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So I just asked because some persons are being turned back and their visas are being revoked. So I've heard of that. And it's usually where they've had an immigration violation or the officer has some concern about them staying. So if you have a concern yourself, definitely schedule a consultation. So how safe is advance parole? Are there cases who have been denied entry after traveling abroad? So there is always a small risk. You don't ever want to leave the country, and then while you're out of the country, you find out your application was denied. Now, that is the purpose of the advanced parole, is to allow you to re-enter the United States if you've left. So it is generally safe. However, if there are any concerns in your background, then definitely get legal advice first before you leave. Where there has been issues is where maybe the application was denied, or there was some issue with the application that caused concern to the officer at the border. And so you want to make sure that you're safe before you yourself leave. But that's the purpose of it, is to say, I'm here, I'm going through a current process right now. Or if you're a DACA recipient, for example, DACA recipients who get advanced parole, they're able to leave, go to study abroad programs, or leave and visit their relatives and come back, no problem. So if you have any specific concern, definitely get legal advice. Orlando Brooks, thanks for sharing the live. And user 059, thanks for sharing the live. So these are all great questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments, because I am here to answer your immigration questions. And why not take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being right here to answer your immigration related questions? Now, if you want to learn more about me, you don't feel comfortable asking your question in a public forum, always feel free to call 561-405-4889 to schedule a consultation, and then we can talk in a private consultation. What will happen is, if you call right now, because the phone lines are open 24/7, so if you call right now, you will get an after-hours receptionist who will be able to take good care of you still, but take your name, your number, and then pass it on to the scheduling coordinator, who will call you back on the next business day, which will be Monday. Carib Chick 86, employed-based cases. How does one secure employment outside of the U.S.? So you would have to go through an employer who's recruiting foreign workers. And while I don't assist clients to find employment themselves, I do help them through that employment-based green card process. You will have to find your employer. Sometimes there are recruiters. Sometimes if you're getting a degree, there are programs where they recruit new graduates. And so it all depends on the resources you have available to you. If I comply, then I should have no issues, right? So 701, I can't guarantee, I can't tell you you'll have no issues. But if you have complied with all the rules, it's unlikely that you will face any issues. But I cannot guarantee, I cannot advise you. If you have any doubts at all, what I can advise you to do is get legal consultation to make sure that your interests are protected. But I would not be able to give you specific legal advice. That is what the personal consultation is for, because everything I'm saying here is based on general information. So generally, if you've complied with the terms of your visa, you should not have an issue. Do I have to stay at the address listed on my I-20 form? So if you are going to change your address, you will definitely need to report that. So yes, you will, at every address you're staying, that should be reported to the immigration. So you'll definitely, you can't report one address and be staying at another address, because they do have a system in place to make sure that they are tracking you and that you are, that they know where you are. So keep your questions coming. You're welcome, Carib Chick 86. Keep your questions coming. That's why I'm here. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments now. So how can a Grenadian start a business in the US? So it depends on what type of business you're starting, but it's easy to start a business in the United States. You have to, there are the basic methods. So first, you set up a business entity, like a corporation, LLC, or whatever works for your business, a partnership, whatever structure would fit your business. You register the business. Those are now the basics, right? But it all depends on what exactly you want to do in the United States. And I'm thinking you're talking about that E2 visa. Now, that is what I help with. I help you to figure out how your business and you can qualify for an E2 visa. So what you can do is schedule a consultation, and then we can talk more about what business you're would like to start, what kind of investment you have to put into that business, and whether you can qualify for the E2 visa. Nikki Ramu, it's nice to see you. So keep those questions coming. Why not take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your immigration questions? So XOXO, I am looking forward to speaking with you. Say cheese, will they do a check for you at the address stated on the I-20? So no, physically coming to the address, not necessarily, unless they do have a concern, especially if it's a national security concern. However, keep in mind that if you do not comply with the terms of your, updating your information, that can lead to a violation of your current student visa, your F1, and it can lead to additional complications in your case. So just make sure that you update your information to avoid problems. How long does it typically take to get a date for visa interview after submitting documents? So with this, it depends on what type of visa, who are you applying through? Is it a green card? Is it a temporary visa? So it all depends, Nikki Ramu. Now, if you're talking about the visitor's visa, usually, if you're talking about the immigrant visa interview, then that is going to be, right now there's a backlog, and so we're finding that it's taking longer, it's taking a longer time to. Okay, so it's green card, so it's taking about no, pre-COVID it would take about 6 weeks, but now it could take months. So I'm seeing maybe 3 months, but it's no guarantee in your case, Nikki Ramu. So do I have an office in Guyana? No, but I'm not restricted by borders. I do still assist clients all over the world, and so I can still assist you. I'm located in Boca Raton, Florida, but I work with USCIS offices and U.S. embassies all over the country. So keep your questions coming, because I am here to answer your immigration questions. So do we need to translate other language birth certificate to English for the N400 interview? Yes, everything that's in a foreign language needs to be translated. How long does the application and process and certified? Make sure it's translated and it's a certified translation. How long does the application and processing take for fiance visa, and what's the interview like? So Tamar, it's taking over a year. So ironically, the fiance visa was supposed to be like this type of visa that you would get in 3 months, and then your fiance would come and you'd get married within 90 days and then go through the green card process. However, right now that's taking over a year to process. And so that's the downside of this visa. At the interview, they want to make sure that you qualify, that your fiance qualifies. It's a real relationship. So the questions are going to fall along those lines, to ask questions to make sure that it's a real engagement. So other language translated documents are from 2016. Are they still California, or do they need to be updated? So I'm not sure what you mean by are they still California. Why is it so hard to obtain a visitor's visa? Well, it can be difficult because what they look for are strong ties to your home country. And sometimes, especially if you're on the younger side, sometimes it's difficult to prove that you have strong ties to your home country. So for example, do you have property? Do you have property? Do you have employment? Do you have strong family ties? So do you have children, a spouse? Are you going to school? Do you have debts? Do you have a mortgage? And so those are examples of strong ties to your home country that you'll need to show. And so if the officer the reason for it is to make sure that you will return to your home country because you have such strong commitments. And so if the officer is not convinced of that because you don't have strong ties, then that could lead to a denial. And unfortunately, many people don't go in with that kind of evidence. Okay, Boss 40, thanks for sharing the live. So keep your questions coming. So I saw other language translated documents are from 2016. Are they still valid or they need to be updated? So as long as they're certified and the document hasn't changed, so then that translation should still be valid. But you have to make sure that translation is still attached to the original document and not on a new document. So keep those questions coming because I am here to answer your immigration questions. That's why I'm here. Why not take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your immigration questions? So I am here every night with very few exceptions. So you're welcome, user 528. So if you are going through the process, you're thinking about going through the process, you have gone through the process and you want to figure out, get more, learn your options, especially if you are denied or something happened, then, you definitely want to sit in here. You want to ask, I know you definitely have a question. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments now while I am here, so that I can answer. So what is the cutoff time to apply for the H-2B? So the H-2B is, I'm not sure, you probably have to check USCIS.gov. And when you go there, you should see information on the H-2B. You can go to temporary visas to the United States or working temporarily in the United States, and it will give you that time. Do you need to have a potential job in order to get a U.S. work visa? So yes, in most cases, you will need a job, a potential job, or an employer who's trying to hire you to be able to get that, to qualify for the employment-based visa. Of course, it depends on what you're going for, but most do require you. How long after entering the U.S. can I change my address, being an F1 student? So you usually have about 10 days to change your address, to report your new address. So keep that in mind and just make sure you stay compliant. Keep your questions coming. That's why I'm here. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. Now, I want, for those of you who don't know me, I am U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green card in the United States. So if you're going through the process, go ahead, put your questions in the comments right now and I will answer. Does being on a contract with the government aid in getting a visitor's visa? So not necessarily, but it definitely helps because it shows that you have a good job, that you have a strong commitment. And so it may assist in that regard, especially if if you have a contract going into the future, then it shows that you have a binding contract with the government and you need to return to that. So say cheese to 2002, won't they think you lied about where you were going to stay in the first place? So when it comes on to your particular circumstances, get legal advice. I don't give personal legal advice here. When you are updating your address, you have to comply with the rules and you have to do that within the time that they give you to report the change of address. But that's a general information. As for how it may affect you, you will definitely need to schedule a consultation and let's talk more about how this could affect you. Rushana, you're welcome. Say cheese, you're welcome. So keep those questions coming because I am here to answer your immigration questions. I am here every night. So if you don't ask your question tonight, that's okay. I'll be here tomorrow. All you have to do is follow me to make sure that you can get noticed when I go live, and then I can answer your questions. As soon as I hop on, go live, you can put your questions in the comments and I will answer. So Trinidad, can you now for those of you, sometimes questions come and I don't see it for some reason, you can use the Q&A option. It's that comment box at the bottom of your screen with a question mark. You can use that to also ask your questions. I found that that's very successful. So because Trinidad EI, I did not see your question. So use that feature. So Tamar, is the process faster if your spouse comes to your country and you get married and file instead of a fiance visa? It's not faster, but what would happen is that once you get married and your spouse applies at the embassy, goes to the interview, and once they get approved and come to the United States, they're permanent resident. So they don't have to come here and then you go get married, then you apply for the green card. So that's where I find it's a better process, is that by getting married, you just skip the whole part of having to come to the United States and get married first. Hi, if you have a child on your visa, but you're on filing, will it affect anything? So if you have a child on your visa, but you're on filing, so I'm not sure what that means. Thank you so much. Queen, thank you for that. All right, so Trinidad, can you help me get my visa from Trinidad, please, so I can help? I do assist clients, but the first with their visas, but the first thing that I require is a consultation to first advise you as to whether you qualify for the visa, and then give you the option of for me to represent you. I'm Roshana. I'm a teacher and I plan to apply this month, but I'm on contract with the government. So that's a great position. You're a teacher and you're on contract with the government. That's a great start. Tamar, Natasha, you're welcome. Can you file for someone if you only have a green card? So if you're a green card holder, you can file for your spouse, your child, or your adult children who are 21 and up and unmarried. So all children have to be unmarried. To qualify as, to get priority as the relative of a green card holder, they have to be under 21 and unmarried, and your spouse will have more priority. That process right now is taking about 2 years for the spouse and child under 21 and unmarried to go through the process. Adult children 21 and over, that one is taking about 5 to 6 years right now. How long is taking now the first interview marriage for the green card? So the entire process could take 18 months. That's the average, up to 24 months. Can I apply for citizenship on an H-2B visa? No. So having an H-2B visa alone, Candy, is not going to qualify you to apply for citizenship. If citizenship means that you are 100%, you can vote, you can do all the things as an American. So if you're jumping from a visa, chances are you have to get to the green card first and then citizenship. So you can't go from a visa to citizenship. Can a sister file for the brother? Yes, U.S. citizen siblings can file for siblings, but there must be a U.S. citizen. And keep in mind that process is taking at minimum 14 years for the Caribbean. Mexico, it could take 22 years, so it can take a long time. Queen B. Brown, can I file for a parent if I have a green card holder? So a green card, no. Green card holders can't file for their parents. If someone's mother is living in the States and they are over 21, can they stay there and their mother? So the mother would have to file for the child over 21. Now keep in mind that process, the way that is going to go really depends on whether they're out of status, whether they have, whether they are in status, the way that the process is going to go. So they'll schedule a consultation because it can take me the full half an hour to explain that process. So can I apply for the green card on an H-2B? No. So what you can do is, if you qualify through an employer, through a family member, or through humanitarian means, it's possible. But just having an H-2B alone isn't going to qualify you. You're welcome, Queen Brown. Keep those questions coming. That's why I'm here. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So keep your questions coming. And why not take advantage of me being here, a U.S. immigration attorney that can give you some good general information. Now, if you don't feel comfortable or you feel like your situation is way too complicated, then go ahead and you can call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation, or you can go to the link in my bio. There's a contact form there that you can fill out, and the scheduling coordinator will get in touch with you on the next business day. How much does it cost to apply for U.S. citizenship, and what is the process to start? So to apply for U.S. citizenship, keep in mind you'll have to be a green card holder first, and the fee is $725. And what you would do is you file the relevant forms to be able to apply for the citizenship. Jeff Grant, how long can one stay in the U.S. on an H-2 visa? It depends on how long you've been given. Candy K Cosmetics, thanks for sharing the live. So keep your questions coming. That's why I'm here. I am here to answer your immigration questions, and I am here every day. So is it true that you have a green card holder can file for a baby? Is it true that if you have a green card holder can file for a green card holder can apply for their child? So yes, they can apply for their own child. A green card holder can also apply for their spouse. And if that spouse has a child who's under 21, which includes a baby, that baby could go along with the spouse. So yeah, that, I guess if you mean it that way, yes, that is true. So, but a green card holder can't file for just any baby. They have to either file for their spouse's child or their child, and then if their child has children, then they could go along. So as Tamar Natasha, the consultation fee is $150, and in that consultation, we basically go over your particular issue, and then I advise. You get to ask all the questions, and you walk out knowing your options, knowing what you have to do, and if you need further assistance, then that option is open to you as well. It's well worth it. It's worth it because it helps you to understand the process that you are going to be going into. It helps you to avoid devastating mistakes, which can be even more expensive if you make a mistake. Then you could be shelling out more money to correct that mistake. So for $150 to get legal advice from a U.S. immigration attorney is a good way to start your process. Queen Brown, you can find Form N400 online to apply for a naturalization. Yes. So yes, you can find the N400 form and you can apply online. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. I'm a Jamaican, but I have a visa. Would it be an issue to get a visa for my 3-month-old? So you could apply for the visa for your 3-month-old, and whether it will be approved is another matter. Original Dolphus, what if they are out of status? Can mother file for them if they are in the country over 21? So she can file for them, but they would have to go back to their home country to complete the process. The way that they would have to do that is to apply for forgiveness first, and if that's approved, it's called a waiver. If that's approved, then they could go back to their home country and not face any consequences for overstaying. So that is one way to approach that. Actually, that will be the way to approach it if a mother is applying for their son or daughter who is over 21. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So, and these are all great questions, by the way. So keep your questions coming. That's why I'm here. 43210, thanks for following. What's your location? I have a green card already and I want to file for citizenship. So I am in Boca Raton, Florida, but keep in mind I work with USCIS offices all over the country. And so you can still work with me. I can work with you to file that application quickly and efficiently. So give me a call. You can go to the link in my bio, or you can call 561-405-4889. The number is plastered all over my videos, so you can go and look at the videos. And if you're in Maryland, I have clients in Maryland, so it doesn't matter where you are. We have to work with the USCIS offices in regards to citizenship all over the country anyway. So that is not a problem, Mr. Dean. Give me a call. So go ahead and keep putting those questions in. Now, if you notice that you're putting your questions in and I'm just not getting to it, it's because I'm not seeing your question. So you can use a Q&A feature. I found that to be very successful. So go ahead, put your question in the Q&A box, and then I can see your question there. Can a visa holder file for a green card? If yes, how much it costs? So a visa holder can, if they qualify through an employer, through a family member, through humanitarian means, but just having a visa alone can't qualify someone to just apply for the green card shorty. So it all depends on what's going on in your situation. Which family members do you have? So Roshana, do you complete visa forms? So that is a part of my representation, is I prepare the documents and the evidence and provide the whatever is necessary to represent my clients. So keep those questions coming, because I am here to answer your immigration questions. Hi there, Chef Shanti. Thank you for the follow. So use the Q&A option. If you notice that I am not getting to your question, it's because I'm not seeing it. So I found it to be successful when you put your questions in the Q&A. Can Jamaicans open a U.S. bank account? If yes, how? So yes, that is a possibility. It really depends on the bank. But one way is to get an ITIN number. What info do you have for the Bahamas? So nothing new specific on the Bahamas. Do you want to know any information? I know one of the biggest issues is when the hurricane hit, many Bahamians were left here in the United States and have been stuck here without status. Unfortunately, we haven't seen anything about TPS for Bahamians or anything of that nature. But there's nothing new in specific in regards to the Bahamians. Can your step-sibling apply for you? So yes, a step-sibling can apply for you, but you'd still have to show that relationship. Hi there, Simon says, it's nice to see you. Keep those questions coming, because I am here to answer your immigration questions. So keep your questions coming. How do you apply for the ITIN? So there are tax assistance agents if you go to the irs.gov website, and those agents can help you. They'll tell you what documents you need to submit to be able to get that ITIN number. So what's the cost to have you file an I-130? So first, what I do is I schedule a consultation with me. I want to make sure that you qualify, that you get all the advice before you jump into that process. And so schedule a consultation first, and then after that, I'll know what it takes to represent you on the case, and I'll be able to give you a quote. But it is well worth doing $150 first to make sure it will work for you, and then move forward. Do you need to get a police report if you're doing the I-360 form? So I'm glad you asked that. Now, a police report is not absolutely required. It's helpful, of course, if you have one. But, a lot of abuse and mistreatment does not involve the police. For example, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, it doesn't involve the police. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you are being abused. And it doesn't take away from the fact that you still qualify as the abused spouse or the abused child or the abused parent of a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident. So the short answer is no, but if you do have one, it can be helpful to your case. If your sister is a permanent resident, can she file for your green card? No. So green card holders can't file for siblings. What's the cost to complete a visitor's visa application? So Roshana, if you're talking about my fee, I don't do quotes here. I have to do a consultation first to make sure you qualify and to determine what it will take. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So why not take advantage of me being here to answer your questions? Okay, so I do see some questions. Can your step sibling apply? What's the cost for your consult? Can you help me? So I answered all those in the Q&A. So I don't see any more questions coming in. I am going to call it a night, but I'm here every day with very few exceptions. So have any space available on Monday? So I usually require consultations to be scheduled days in advance, just because it is the scheduling coordinator who manages the schedule. But what you can do is call, and they will get back to you on Monday and schedule. So it's probably not going to be Monday, but you could probably ask for another day soon. Yes, what's your consultation fee? Will it be 2 different fees? So yes, so the consultation fee is $150 to get all the legal advice you need for your particular situation. And then from there, to get actual prolonged representation in your case, which it sounds like it would be a visa application, then it would be a different fee. So how can you get your background record if you're out of the country? So it depends on which country. So, you know, there are ways to get the background check from the police, the police departments, or the police records office department in your home country. But it depends on where the country is, what are their procedures. And so I wouldn't be able to tell you that information unless I know all those details. So thank you everyone for hopping on. Roshan, you're welcome. Roshana, after getting married, what's the process to change your status? So Kevir, it depends on whether you're married to a green card holder or a US citizen to determine whether you qualify for the change of status, and also whether you can whether you have to do it in your home country. So that's going to require a consultation to be able to determine that. That's the most important part, is to make sure you qualify, that you're not wasting your time on the adjustment of status process, and then go from there. All right, have a good night, everyone. Go to the link in my bio if you want to get in touch with me. You'll get all the information on the website. If the phone lines are busy, call, go ahead and complete the contact form that's on the website, and the scheduling coordinator will get back to you as soon as your information comes across on the next business day. So phone lines are open for your calls 24/7, but keep in mind that it's on business days, Monday to Friday, that the scheduling coordinator will be able to schedule your consultations. Have a good night.